Yo yo, what up y'all? It's your boy OCZ Savage. Today we jumping into another deck build. In this one, I'm going to be showing you guys a couple different variations on Tala. She is super duper fun to use. You know, after they added the bow efficiency, bow attack speed, you know, they got some nice cards in there for it. You definitely can do some really fun builds. Now for this first one, what we're going to be doing is more of a stumble build. So this is going to be using like combat training, empowering assault, and what's really dope about the bow too, you pretty much can just shoot it unlimited because it doesn't have ammo. You know, you're not going to have to reload. So a lot of the variations that you do, you can really just pretty much abuse things, you know. So if you're going to be using phosphorous tip, you know, you could definitely just set Ridden on fire over and over and over again. And then with her passive, she actually is going to cause bleed damage too. So whenever you're doing the stumble build, and then if you mix in phosphorus tips, it definitely is up to you. You'll be able to not only set pretty much all mutations on fire, they'll take bleed damage, but then on top of that, using empowering assault, each time you kill a mutation, the next one you get a guaranteed stumble. So that's really good. And then if you can find the Grim Reaper attachment, now, I was actually using it on just melee, which was already super overpowered. But on bow, it's even worse, because you don't even have to get anywhere near the Ridden. And then, you know, you get chances of insta-kill, which is so broken. And then, of course, when you're fighting things like breakers, you know, if you could find yourself the whistle, you'll have Jeff. And a really cool thing about Jeff, too, is that he messes up, like, the AI of the mutations. Because for some reason they like don't attack him, but they do attack him, and he's just like in the way. So it's always really good to have the Jeff. He's really good against bosses. Now before we jump into the variations, make sure you guys smack that like button so that way this can reach all the Back4BLooders, and also to make sure you guys hit that sub button. We got way more deck tips, tricks, everything on the way. So for this first variation, this is going to be the stumble. So we got the run like hell, the fleet of foot, the cross trainers. Then we're going to be using fill 'em up with lead, adrenaline fuel. That's a really good combo. And then natural sprinter is also really good to run on Tala as well, because you'll just have stamina the entire time. And then we got the combat training, the hunker down, the empowered assault, and the vitamins. Now for the second variation, this is going to be just a raw damage variation. Now this is going to be really good too for going into the trials, because the thing is like once you're playing on the harder levels of the trials, what happens is the enemy weak point damage that actually gets disabled. So you know, if you have a lot of weak spot damage on your Tala build and you're doing trials, you know, if you're doing it over like a 30 multiplier, you're really not going to be doing any damage. So I think the best ways to do damage builds, especially if you're going to be doing trials, is just going with raw damage. So on this one, we're going to have the fill 'em up with lead. We're going to have the phosphorus tips. And then on top of that, we're going to have the glass cannon. And then I'm going to show you a couple variations that you guys can do to do more damage. You know, so if you're rocking like overconfident, every time you kill a mutation, that's another 1% damage all the way up to 15%. Then if you're using belligerent, you actually get up to 24% damage. 4% damage per horde, up to 6 hordes. So you definitely will be able to start stacking up the damage. Now another really cool thing about like Tala damage build with the phosphorus tips, you could literally just sit in the background and just keep shooting your bow, and you will flat out be able to just set everything on fire as far as mutations. Now you will have so much damage that your bows, they'll pretty much one-shot all of the common Ridden. So it's going to be really hard to set them on fire because they're going to be already dead. So the main things that you'll pretty much set on fire is just going to be mutations, and then it's going to be breakers. Now another really good thing about this damage variation is that you don't even have to use the bow the whole time. So what I like to do is have a shotgun on Tala. You know, so if you have overconfident, you have overprotective, or you have the phosphorus tips or the belligerent, you know, you could also just use the shotgun too against mutations, and you'll definitely still set them on fire and kill them quick. So in this one, we got the run like hell, the fleet of foot, the rhythmic breathing. Then we got the fill 'em up with lead. We're going to go with Killer's Instinct on this one for just a little bit of weak spot. Then we got the phosphorus tips. And then we're going to be rocking Face Your Fears. Now, it's really good on Tala because a lot of those close range encounters, especially like when a lot of ridden run up, it's actually really nice to have that Face Your Fears. You're not going to get a whole bunch of healing, but you'll get enough healing to stay alive, which is really good. And especially too, like if you run into like a pure chaos level, even being able to heal for 1 or 1.1, that's way better than 0. Now for variations on this one, again, you can add in that confident and that belligerent. Those are super duper good right now, especially for doing trials, because again, once you get to those higher levels, it's going to be headshot only mode. It's going to be no weak spot damage, so it's definitely really good to just have that raw damage. Now for the third variation, and this is actually my favorite variation, so this is going to be a well-rested healing variation. So pretty much what we're going to be taking advantage of is the new bow attachment. Well, it's a bow melee attachment. What it does is it actually, at the lowest level, the green one, it gives you 1 healing every time you get a bow kill, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to stack that with well rested and EMT bag. Now if you have the lowest level, just the green one that I have here, instead of 1 you actually heal for 2. And then if you have the if you have any of the higher upgraded ones, so if you have the one that heals for 3, instead of 3 it actually heals for 5. So it's so broken. You can literally just sit in the back, bow for free, get free heals. And then especially too, like if you're doing the trials, there's really no way of healing. They really don't drop anything on the ground. So it's so broken to even be able to heal on bow at all. And then if you're using this build here, we got the glass cannon, got the fill 'em up with lead. Then we're going to have the motorcycle helmet for a little bit of resistance. Then we got the phosphorus. We got the well rested. We got the EMT bag. Then we got the Face Your Fears. That's going to give us another point of temporary health. And then on top of that, we're going to be using Scarred Tissue. So this is actually the build that I rock inside of trials. Now the only downfall to the build is that you'll pretty much have to wait until you find that attachment. So if you want, you could even take off EMT bag, throw on belligerent, until you find the attachment, and then you'll still get the heals from well rested. But me, I would personally say, just keep the EMT bag on. You might get lucky, start the match, be able to open up the box and find the healing attachment. But if not, you might have to look around for it. It usually doesn't take me a long time to find. But once you do find it, you're going to be getting 2-3 heals. If you can find the epic one, you're going to be getting 5 heals per bow kill. So it's definitely super broken. Like I said, I used it in trials. I was surviving perfectly fine. Pure chaos, I was surviving perfectly fine. And then, you could just sit in the back, set things on fire, and, or, do stumble damage, whichever build you like. So I definitely think this is a super duper fun build. Down in the comments, let me know what you guys are doing on Tala. As always, I appreciate you guys checking out the vid, and I'll see you on that next one. Peace.